Have you ever worked really hard on a project and delivered great results only to watch someone else get recognized for the work? Or have you ever thought, my manager knows how much I contribute, only to find out during the performance review that they're saying, you're still not ready? Have you ever been the person that everyone comes to when there's a problem? But when an opportunity comes, somehow you're not the one that's considered. Or maybe you're the one doing what you're told, showing up. You're the dependable person, getting the job done, and still wondering why the same persons are being recognized for things that you can do in your sleep. So let me ask you this. Are you waiting on someone to notice you? Hi, I'm Tamara Pierce, Chief Soaring Officer and founder of the Skylane Company, here to help empower individuals and organizations to rise higher, lead boldly, and create lasting impact. And this is Career Conversations in the Park. So a lot of talented professionals, they are waiting to get noticed. They assume that if I work hard, they'll see it. They'll see the work that I'm doing. I mean, I'm delivering reports or everything is getting done in time. They'll notice it. Or the thought is my manager knows what I'm doing. They know what I'm doing. I don't want to seem like I'm bragging. Oh, that's a good one right there. Modest people, they may think that it's bragging. Another perspective is I'm just keeping my head down. I'm staying out of it. I'm just keeping my head down. Or when the opportunity comes, they'll know I'm ready. Let's park right there. Let's not park right there. But here's the problem. People cannot recognize what they don't know about. They can't recognize what they don't know about, especially if they're already swamped with their own workloads and deadlines. So let me go back to that idea of when the opportunity comes, they'll know I'm ready. So there's this movie that came out in May this year, The Devil Wears Prada 2. I don't know about you, but that is a movie that I love. The Devil Wears Prada #1. And if you've seen it, I don't have to necessarily reiterate it. But in #2, there was a scene that spoke to this, what we're talking about right now, where the leader, Miranda Priestley, she did not see that Nigel, her right-hand man who knew everything about Runway, who could actually be her proxy whenever she was gone, she did not see him in that space. It took someone speaking up. It's nice to have someone to speak up for you. But here, this is the place where we're talking about making sure to advocate for yourself. And so here we go. Moving on, the big idea is performance versus visibility. Performance. Let's look at performance. Performance is what you actually accomplish, the outcomes that you have from your work. That's your performance. But then there's visibility. Visibility is on how clearly your contributions, capabilities, your ideas and impact are understood by people who make decisions and about opportunities. And then there's visibility. Visibility is how clearly your contributions, capabilities, your ideas, and impact are understood by other people, and especially the ones who make decisions and create opportunities. You need both. You need both. You need performance. You do need to perform well. You need to have great deliverables, great outcomes that you can speak to. But then there's visibility as well, because, there is finishing a project, but finishing a project, there's a process that comes with that. There's a process, and that process took you uncovering a lot of things, finding out what the problem was, and coming up with solutions. And when you're able to speak to those things, that's when you actually start showing more of your value when your leaders hear those different things. Someone can be extremely talented and still be overlooked because their work isn't visible. And visibility isn't just about getting promoted. It can help you. It can help you be considered for projects, can help you build credibility, become known as a problem solver, and establish relationships with leaders with other opportunities, and not necessarily progressional opportunities, but even lateral opportunities. See, the thing is, when you're working and accomplishing performance, these outcomes, the process that gets you to the outcome, when those leaders are able to see how you're able to break things apart and find the need and meet it, when they hear that, when they understand what you really bring to the table and not just putting a Band-Aid on a problem, that's when more doors begin to open for you. It also demonstrates your leadership ability before you ever receive a title of leader. Whenever you do operate in these spaces, different projects that may arise that's coming up, you can be considered for because of working with a leader or working with the team and being able to manage the team without a title. All those things matter. It positions yourself for future opportunities. That's what I'm trying to tell you. So performance, but you've got to make sure to have that visibility. Okay, let's talk about the person that's not the bragger, the bragging conversation. Let's go ahead and go there, because becoming visible requires you opening up your mouth and speaking up about the things that you're doing, the process that you took to the right people, might I add. But it's not necessarily bragging. It's not bragging. It's just sharing, letting the right people know your accomplishments and how you arrived to this accomplishment. That's not bragging. That's not bragging at all. And what I tend to hear from different clients that I've spoken with is that they're modest, they're humble, they don't want to seem boastful or prideful. But when you're in this career space, who's 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 the person that's going to speak up for you? The first person has to be yourself. If there's something that you want, you need to let the right people know what you bring to the table. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not called bragging. And when you practice these things in the workplace and sharing how you've arrived to these accomplishments, it makes it a lot easier when you make it to the interview where you really have to talk about yourself. That's a place where you really have to unpack the different things that you made, the decisions that you've made, the ideas and the concepts that you form together, your different capabilities. In those spaces, you're really going to have to spell those things out. So you might as well go ahead and get practice right now with sharing it with the right people. Bragging says, look how great I am and how great you're not. Look at how great I am. I'm just magnificent and awesome. But honestly, that is boasting. That is boasting, and that's not what we're here to do. Bragging doesn't share what those deliverables were, where visibility says, here's what I contributed, here's the impact, and here's what I learned. That's a completely different mindset. You aren't trying to make yourself look important. You're making your contributions clear. And so here are 3 ways to increase your visibility. Number 1, stop assuming people know what you do. Everyone lives in their own world and they have all their own things going on. They do not know what you do. You have to let them know. Your manager may be responsible for multiple people. They're not just managing you. They're responsible for multiple people, answering to a lot of fires, putting them out, different projects and priorities. So don't assume that your manager is always aware. You need to let them know. You need to speak up and learn to communicate your progress. Even if you want to send an update For example, here's one. I wanted to give you a quick update on the project. We identified the issue, implemented the new process, and we're now seeing a reduction in turnaround time. Now, of course, you can add more details to that, um, which lets me know we probably need to unpack how to send an email to the leaders. Leaders need high points, and then you can go into the detail later on in the email. Number two, make your impact visible, not just with your activity. So this is a major lesson here. So don't only say, I completed the report. I completed the report. I did it. It's done. I have a check mark on my list. It's done. I did it. That's not enough information. You're selling yourself short when you say you've completed the project. I really need some of you to come out of that mentality that I'm capable, so don't question me in what I've done. No, this is the space where you need to let them know what you have done, how you arrived to this completed state of this report. People need to hear, how did you get there? Not with just, I completed it. What that does is, like, let's say you're out of the office and someone else picks up the ropes. Because you stated that I completed the report, it's done, no one would ever know the complexity of how you got to that place of completion. They won't know the different things you've had to navigate through in order to get the job done. So get that out of your mind now, to have a blanket statement, it's done, especially for my men who are macho and don't like to speak about what you're doing. I need you to share. Go back to that email we just talked about earlier about issues that you found, the new process that you came up with, and the new turnaround time. Go back to that. Spell it out. You can keep some of your good gems to yourself. You can do that, but you still need to communicate. That's just business. That's business. Instead, say, I completed the report, identified 3 recurring issues, and recommend a process change that could reduce the amount of rework we're experiencing. You see how that second statement sounds? It's a lot more descriptive, and it says how much you're adding to the team, how much you're adding to the project and the further movement of the department when you share it in that way. The second statement tells people how you think, not just, I got the job done, but it shares how you think. And people who can identify problems, create solutions, and communicate impact become more memorable. Remember that. And this really speaks to one of our pillars from our framework, from the SOAR framework, find the need. And another pillar from our framework is speak up. So that's number 3. This is our last one. You have to speak up. Speak up before you're asked. You don't need permission. You don't need permission. But visibility isn't about announcing what you've already done. Sometimes it's about contributing your thinking before someone asks for it. Like, say, for instance, if you see a problem and ask, would it be helpful if I looked into this? Sometimes you can offer help. You can offer help in the meeting, when there is and honestly, this is what I've heard from another HR professional. I was listening to one of her presentations in person, and one thing she shared was that she did the work that no one else wanted to do, and that's how she got to that high level HR role. She offered to help. Would it be helpful if I looked into this further? Just offer it. Just offer the assistance. And if you have an idea, this is another avenue. If you have an idea, I've noticed something that could be contributing to the issue, I'd like to explore a possible solution. Just offer the help. Offer the help. Now, what it says is that you're ready to get your hands dirty. It says that you are not a bystander. It says that you care about the work. It says that you're on the team with the leader, with the manager of the team. It says that you're looking to move forward and make impact for not just the department, but the organization as a whole. And then here's another way to speak up. If you're interested in an opportunity, oh my goodness. If you're interested in an opportunity, say, I'd be interested in being considered for that project. Here's why I think I could contribute. This goes along with what I shared earlier about the Devil Wears Prada too. Sometimes you might not necessarily have an Andrea or Anne Hathaway to speak up for you, an advocate in the room. You have to be your advocate. Share why you think. Let the people know this is what you're after. This is what you want. Let the right people know. Let me be clear about it. Let the right people know what you're after and how you would contribute to that. That's putting yourself in the game. That's another one of our pillars from our SOAR framework. And so here we go. This is an opportunity to get out your handy dandy career journal. If you don't already have your career journal, you can grab yours at the skylinecompany.com and be able to go ahead and get your career journal. But go ahead and let's start logging these things. And so let's create a career visibility log. Because we have to capture these things. One thing that has always been helpful and what I do recommend to clients is to write down what you have accomplished. You want to keep a running tab on what you have accomplished, whether handwritten in the career journal that we have, or you can do it in Excel. And so each week, I want you to capture this. Each week, what did I accomplish? Number 2, what problem did I solve? Number 3, what did I improve? Who did I help? And what did I learn? What impact did my work have? And what should my manager or key stakeholders know? So write down those questions and make sure to go back to it so you can log your visibility. Log your visibility so that you're able to speak to it in a moment. And if you need help, you have it written down or in your spreadsheet. It creates a career evidence file. That's what this does. This backs you up. This backs you up rather than just saying, I'm the right person for the next opportunity, for the next project to lead this thing. No, this is an evidence file that you have for yourself, which is always the go-to. It can help with performance reviews. My goodness. When you go into the room for your mid-year review, for your annual review, or even if you have like quarterly checkups, or even however you speak with your manager for your reviews and where you're trying to go to, this is something that you can take with you. It shows your leaders that you are serious about what you do and that you want more, that you can handle it. That you can handle it. You remember earlier we were talking about managers not knowing what you're doing, so they say you're not ready. No, when you have your evidence file, when you have your career evidence file, your handy dandy career journal, where you've documented everything that you've done, or in your spreadsheet, this is something that you can bring with you in your performance reviews. When you have career conversations, especially when you go into interviews, that's one thing that I do tell my clients as well. When you're going into interviews, make sure to have your high points. Have your high points from your evidence file, your career evidence file. It's also helpful for promotion discussions, for your resume. It makes your resume a lot more easier to write when you have this data handy. And even when you're working with someone to help you with writing your resume, when you have that career evidence file, your visibility log, it makes it so much more easier to highlight your skills and your accomplishments, the percentages, the numbers, the data that's needed for your resume. And it also helps with identifying your own growth. And speaking of that, it helps when you're able to see how far you've come. From looking at the beginning of the journal, the career journal of your visibility log, to where you are now. It shows you, even in the midst of chaos, political turmoil that takes place in the workplace, because it's there sometimes. Everyone doesn't have that perfect work culture. Um, and so when you're able to come through so much and also have it documented, it leads towards giving yourself a pat on the back, because we all need a pat on the back. You have to encourage yourself, and looking at this career evidence file is a way to do that. And so here's our park bench question. Am I genuinely being overlooked? Or have I been waiting for people to notice the work that I haven't made visible? And then, if my manager had to describe my contributions today, what would they say? What might they not know about me and my performance? And so that brings us to our park assignment. I want you to have a visibility conversation this week. I want you to have a visibility conversation this week. It could be with your manager, it can be with a team leader, a mentor, or another key person. And you can say it like this: I want to share a quick update on something I've been working on. Here's what I did, here's what I learned, and here's the impact I'm seeing. And then let your work speak. I recommend that you continue to practice that, speaking up about your accomplishments, speaking up about the work that you do, the contributions that you make, the impact that you're making. Continue to do that, not just this week, but if it starts somewhere. So let's just start with this week. Remember, the career you want doesn't happen by accident. Be intentional about where you're going. Be willing to do the work to get there. And don't be afraid to take up space along the way. Until our next career convo in the park, dream, believe, soar.